Episode number 3 of the Humplik Happy Hour podcast with special guest Paul Anthony is brought to you by the Tiki Theater in Hollywood, California. If Fred Willard gives it a thumbs up, then so do we. Here we go.
I want to get line drive.
Want to lose weight and keep it.
You are listening to the Humplik Happy Hour Show.
A few days ago, my friend Paul and I had a few hemp beers and sat down for a little chat. Don't blame us for what you're about to listen to. Blame the hemp. Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you ready for your first question?
Sure.
Okay.
Sock it to me.
You find out your wife has a bank account you knew nothing about.
Yeah.
So, secret life.
Right.
In that account is over $1 million obtained illegally as a corporate spy.
All right.
So, this could be she has hacking skills.
Sure.
She is something. It's a white collar style crime.
So,
And she's been siphoning off money somehow into that account.
right.
Do you turn her in?
Well, I gotta look at the question. First of all, I gotta say,
It's illegal. It's definitely
illegal.
It's definitely something
illegal.
illegal that she's done.
well, you said corporate spy. What is that? I mean, I guess the answer depends on whether or not
Have you
she's
s-
stealing from like babies or like
She's stealing.
from a corporation that helps children who have no clothing, or if it's like a corporation where $1 million is like nothing to them because they're such a huge corporation. So let me throw that into the works before I answer.
Okay, she's stealing from
It's a ridiculous questions, by the way, but keep going.
a bank.
Okay,
She- let's say
Okay.
hypothetically she works
Okay.
for a bank, and I
Not-
know she doesn't work for a bank.
Not a credit union. Okay.
She works for a bank,
Right.
or she works. It doesn't matter. A big corporation
Right.
that makes over $1 billion a year.
Well, first I'll say
not a mom and pop thing. Well, first of all, they wouldn't have $1 million.
right.
But let's say a big multinational corporation.
Sure. Well, first off, I know that's not happening because
No, I know it's not
Yeah.
happening. This
Yeah.
is the
no,
hypothetical.
I realize that, but
And if it is, it's wicked.
Well-
if we find out, if she listens,
we would
to
have
this and we find out,
we'd have a way better car. First off, if that was happening, but
she's hiding it.
she's hiding it.
Yeah.
Right. Fair.
Maybe
Do I
Paul,
turn her in?
Maybe she has other plans.
Oh yeah, with other people. I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I would pretend that I didn't know and just see what would happen. Like start looking. That I would start spying on the spy.
But the problem is,
You know what I mean? I think I would be a pretty good spy. Actually.
but let's say let's say this account also has your name on it. So it's a joint account
Right.
that you knew nothing about.
Right.
And she's been sending the account
Right.
the account statements have been going to some mailbox somewhere, and you just happened to find it in her purse. She picked it up at a mailbox, and she didn't hide it yet from
I
you.
think that my first reaction would
$5
be
million in the account.
my first reaction would be Papa needs a new plasma TV. I think that's what would happen. I think I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go on a shopping spree.
Yeah, but you're also going to jail because
I
she's
know.
tied you in on this.
Apparently, she's very good at it. She's managed to siphon off $5 million. You just don't do that
So-
overnight. Maybe it's a penny at a time. Maybe this has been going on for decades.
You
You
don't
know?
You don't know. But
You
all
don't
you
know.
know is she's been doing it. So you're not turning her in?
No, I'm not turning around. You kidding?
No, huh?
No. How about you?
I don't know, man. I don't know. First
Really?
of
So do you
all,
have like some sort of social responsibility to help
no.
a bank?
First of all, if I found out my wife
the
had
people you're-
stolen $5 million,
Right.
she's not the person.
I'd be like, my first question would be, how'd you do it? How'd you get so smart?
No,
That's what I would
my
say.
thing would be, first of all,
Good on ya.
If I found out she had $5 million in an account,
Yeah.
I'd be asking myself, is that really the kind of person I want to be who steals money? I mean, it'd be kind of wicked to have $5 million bucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think I'd want to be with a person who's a thief. And
You're just-
also the
You just be mad because she's making more money than you. That's all. It's like an ego thing.
well, she's
Yeah.
already making more money
Well,
than I
there you
am.
go.
So,
Maybe I'm just taking this to the logical extreme. Then I think maybe this is where that question came from.
but no, I'd be if Charlene had $5 million in the bank, she
Yeah.
had stolen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I want to be with a person who steals money.
Wow. Well,
Like I know she,
Yeah.
you know, I know she wouldn't, but I know it's just a hypothetical.
wow. It's very interesting. We both had different opinions on that one. I want to point out, by the way, see what happens here is that Glenn comes up with like 10 questions before the show, and then he kind of lays them on you. And so I'm just kind of going through here and highlighted out of the 10 questions, 3 of them mention money. Question number 1, question number 3, question number 10 all mention money, and question number 2, which we haven't gotten to yet, mentions Las Vegas. So I'm going to give that half a percent. So I'm going to say like 35% of the questions kind of
And-
mention money.
and
And then I want to ask you, Glenn, why that is. What's with the money? What's with the money thing this week?
Most of the crazy stories in the news
Yeah.
that you read about. So I always look at a lot of news sources to try to come up with original questions.
Right.
And a lot of these, most of these actually, are based on truth
Okay.
about things going on in the media. And you would be, most stories are based on greed.
Sure.
And that's why, and this week especially, a lot of the questions, I guess there are a lot of greedy people. Maybe the summer is
It's
a greedy period.
the year of greed,
but
apparently.
a lot of the questions are based on stories about greed,
Right.
about things that are happening. And it just
That's a
happened
great
that way.
answer.
Yeah,
That's a
that
great
just
answer.
happened this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on here. What's your next question?
Question
Glenn?
number 2, which I guess also, well, that's not really.
Well, Las Vegas.
That's not.
Okay, I was kind of busking
That's
a
not
little bit.
greed. This
I was just kind of busking, I must admit.
is more tuning into. Okay, well, let's go for it. So I'm going to Vegas later on this year with my wife. And while we're there, we're thinking about going to visit Area 51, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. Do you think there's any truth to UFOs having been captured there by the military?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Off-right, no. I think that area's been used for military exercises, training. I think when you see the B-1 bomber, which is like wedge-shaped, that's the kind of stuff they were working on like 20 years ago that people would see at night. Plus, I think people are stupid.
Yeah.
People are stupid. People believe in. People want to believe in something like that, and
People want to believe
people
in
don't
stories
have
like that.
even general knowledge about astronomy, and I think I'm a bit of an expert in the area.
And that's why
astronomy.
That's why I asked you this question. So are there?
Well, as the youngest member of the ever brought into the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada when I was 11, I'm not making this up. Totally geeked out when I was a kid. I remember my sister was working at a restaurant downtown called Le Castor
Okay.
on Sussex, and we got this panicked phone call, and one of her coworkers was freaking out, and she was freaking out because outside the window, it's the middle of the winter, there's this giant UFO in the sky. Huge, bright UFO. She's freaking out. This
So
are
this
people.
is-
This is my sister
this is in the market
This is my
area.
sister calling me saying I have my coworker in the market area, a giant UFO, downtown Ottawa, middle of the winter. Coworker freaking out, who's university aged, and can you talk to her? So I do, and I have to explain to her. You're looking at the planet Venus. It's very bright right now. At sunset, it's there every night. That's not cloudy,
Right.
and just people don't observe stuff like that. And so that to see an adult freak out like that over something that's there every night, for parts of the year,
So wait a minute.
just
it was
just
planet,
tells me that he's a university student freaking out over nothing. And
so it was planet Venus?
It was
that
Venus.
She was,
it was Venus.
Okay.
Yeah, embarrassing. Like, embarrassing. So, there are no aliens. Here's another thing. I read this in Sky and Telescope magazine, probably in 1981. If you ever need to explain to anybody the size of the universe, it's called space because it's empty. There's a lot of space. If you take a 12-inch dinner plate and use that as our solar system as a scale, okay, so this is a scale model I'm going to do for you. So a 12-inch dinner plate with the sun at the center, and the 12-inch radius is the orbit of Pluto. The closest star,
which is the furthest,
and I say okay, and the Voyager spacecraft have gone about 14 inches as of now. They were launched like 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
They've gone about this far on that scale.
Yeah.
The speed of a Colt 45 bullet, apparently. On that scale, the nearest star is 2 miles that way. You know what I mean? So that's the nearest one. So space is pretty empty. And to think that aliens want to come, even if they can do like light speed travel and stuff, just come to land to anally probe guys, just doesn't seem to make sense to me with that much space.
So within our solar system,
within our universe, no,
impossible.
Somewhere out there, but why? It's just too hard to travel.
But outside, do you think
somewhere? Sure, there's something.
There's got to be.
But have you ever
right?
seen? Like I was on the East Coast and I saw a jellyfish. Have you ever seen a jellyfish?
Yeah,
they're freaky.
Yeah,
they're freaky looking.
Yeah.
If there was a picture on the New York Times that alien life found and it had a picture of a jellyfish, people would be freaking. But there's enough weird shit here, man. That, it's all perspective.
So, well, okay.
What do you think?
Well,
what do you think?
I think there are
okay
alien beings
technology
outside of here.
Okay,
but I was thinking of this as a more of a society thing. I look at our society as although on our planet, we're on a crash course to self-destruct.
Sure.
Overpopulation.
Yep.
It's just economic disaster unfolding as we speak. Things are going to happen. I know that's the negative Glenn talking, but I suspect that if anyone had the intelligence on another planet, they'd probably be headed towards the same direction.
Right. So you're a fatalist, and you think that eventually all societies fail. Then is what you're saying. They all self-destruct. It's just a question of time.
Although
right?
if you were on a planet,
what if it was a planet
10 times the size?
What
of
if it was a
Earth,
planet of naked women? Do you think that society would self-destruct?
Well, it probably would, because there wouldn't be any naked men and pregnant.
No. I mean, there would be. Let's say it was a planet where, due to some weird birthing process, there were 100 women for every men that were born, and it was just a planet of naked women, scantily clad women, maybe.
Having had many female bosses in the past, I think they would probably self-destruct just as well as men can.
You think there'd be a little bit of infighting? Okay, that's a good answer.
I think they would be as successful as men. There'd be the alpha dogs taking over, and that
is a good answer.
Women are just as intelligent as men,
absolutely, if not more so.
And if not more so, and they would.
It takes a big man to admit that.
They would have no problem.
Yeah. Wow, good answer. I think it was a better answer than mine.
So it's actually a good segue to the next question,
which is what?
My wife and I had a good discussion about this one.
Okay.
I pass a lot of these, by the way, by Charlene before I write them down.
Right.
And we had a good one about this. If you had $1 billion, I know this is another money one, but would you consider having your body frozen like Walt Disney did, in the hope that you could be brought back to life when a cure was found for whatever killed you?
All right.
So I mean, I'm not sure if this is true, but the rumor is that Walt Disney, when he passed away, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, his body was, I think it was cancer, right? Some form of cancer.
I don't know.
Passed away from.
Yeah.
And I think he had his body frozen so that if ever a cure for cancer came up, he could. But anyways, that's hearsay.
Right.
No one's confirmed that.
Right. My answer would be only if I could get somebody else's body.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Why?
That says a lot about myself, I guess.
What,
No.
you don't like your
If
body?
I could get an upgrade, yeah. If I get an upgrade somehow, if I could look a little bit like
No,
somebody
no.
else, that's my answer.
That's your answer?
Yeah. No, unless I can get an upgrade.
So initially, I said yes, and
Okay.
then my wife got pissed at me because her
Really?
thing was, well, first of all, what value are you going to bring to the planet
In the future.
200 years from now?
Yeah.
I mean,
You're going to look like a rich idiot.
I mean, it's debatable whether or not it bring any value to the planet today. So, 200 years from now, alone, 200 years behind
yeah.
in knowledge, and also the fact that I'd be spending $1 billion.
That could have been used for something
That could
else.
have been used for something else besides my selfish need
Yeah.
to be alive 200 years from now.
Right, giant truck going by. Interesting. So really, she got a little upset.
She was annoyed at me.
Right.
For saying, yeah, I'd like to come back.
Wow.
Because more out of curiosity, I'd really like to see what the world is going to be like.
Sure.
If we're still around.
Sure. I mean,
200
think about
years
what
from
has
now.
changed even since we were kids. You know?
Oh, even
Things have changed.
in the past
Crazy.
past 10 years.
10 years has been
Look at
crazy.
us. Look at us. We're sitting. With
I know, we're outdoors. We're
little-
drinking beer. Okay, that hasn't changed. But, yeah, we've got a digital recording device.
Yeah, but
Recording
I mean,
WAV files.
I can go to a website with
Yeah.
naked women from Yugoslavia
Right.
dancing around,
Exactly.
live.
And the world is
world's
better
gone
because
nuts.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's
Step
also,
closer to that naked planet of women.
So-
Interesting. Cool.
So that was my.
Yeah. I'll ask my wife and see what
Okay,
she
yeah.
thinks.
Go
I'll
back.
ask
Go
her.
back home and ask
Yeah,
her.
I will. Yeah.
Without saying what your answer was first, though.
Well, of course, yeah.
Don't
Take the
voice your
fun out of it.
opinion until you
Right.
get her answer.
Right.
Number 4.
Yeah.
So before I asked the question, I got an email from you Saturday.
Okay.
So we have a music festival here in town called Bluesfest. It's about 10, 11 days of bands. There are like 4 stages, and we have a diverse variety
Yeah.
of music, of bands that come
Yeah.
in. So this year, Bluesfest introduced a few more, I'd say, like techno, electronic music
Electronic acts.
acts.
Yeah.
And there was some controversy to it because some people who are more traditional in their music tastes were pissed off that some DJs were coming in to perform. And, I think it's just Bluesfest going with a younger crowd, trying to attract
Yeah.
a younger crowd as opposed to,
To their credit, apparently they had quite the revenue, quite the turnout this year.
right. But
Yeah.
we also know, well, part of it was the weather. Also, we haven't had rain in
Yeah. Yeah.
12 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was there. So you sent me an email asking me if I was going to see Skrillex on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes. Which is
And-
apparently very well attended. Apparently 10,000 people bought tickets last
Yeah,
night.
that's what I heard. Yeah,
It's crazy.
and so so I had festival tickets.
Yeah.
And but what I usually do is I go to some nights and then I sell off the tickets that I don't go to.
Right.
Some nights I don't really want to see Nickelback.
Sure. Who wants to see Nickelback?
And
Not
anyways,
me.
I ended up selling my tickets to Skrillex because on the first night, DJ Tiesto was in, and I went to see him. And I was there, actually. The Melvins played on
Yeah.
another stage, and there was
Right.
Billy Bragg on another stage.
Okay.
And who else I saw? I saw Tangerine Dream that night.
Wow.
Just a weird assortment of...
That's a very eclectic mix
And
of people.
Tiesto was on the main stage.
Yeah. Now, he's
And-
an international DJ. He's been at this for a while.
I think he's
Probably like our age. He's been at it probably
he looked a little younger, but he's
15 years, maybe he's been DJing.
He's been around for a long time. He's
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest grossing DJs right now.
A seasoned DJ.
So,
for sure.
let's see. He's kind of crossed into the mainstream,
Okay.
you could say,
Right.
But anyways, his show consisted of a box on stage,
Okay. Yep.
with him DJing, and 10,000 people watching that.
Right.
Right, and there was a light show,
Okay.
which wasn't very good.
Visuals.
It was okay, and a lot of visuals
Okay.
that were clearly synced to the music that he was playing. So if he were DJing,
Yes.
live,
Right.
you got to figure that the visuals would not be synced perfectly to the music that he was playing, right?
Well, there have been some advances in
Yeah,
the world
in-
of
in-
DJing
I know.
terms of
In video-
integrating
video
video
DJing.
and that. But yeah,
But
a little suspect, maybe
a little-
bit.
I'll give him some credit. Maybe every track has its own video
Yeah,
done to it, and then but it was too everything. The light show was synced
Right.
to the video.
it's a little too perfect.
A little too perfect.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even a traditional DJ set. It just
Yeah.
felt like someone, and maybe I'm probably wrong, but it just felt like someone had gone
Okay.
in, put a CD, press play,
Sure.
and then it went on for
Right.
an hour and a half.
So, what's your question?
So I guess my question is that a show? And
To me, no.
okay,
That's not a show. A show is to be more interaction between people, the audience, the person who's performing, so to speak. I went to see last week LP, who was in town,
okay,
and he was on stage with this band, and it was a band. They had live keyboards, and I could tell, and like two guys doing that, a guitarist, and obviously the
Did he have a drummer?
the
Oh, no,
rapping.
he didn't have a
no,
drummer.
no, he didn't. They were playing back off. They had a DJ.
okay.
But it was live, and you could tell it was live because they actually, at one point, got so out of sync, they actually stopped
Okay.
halfway through set. And that was a lot of fun because, first off, boo to Ottawa for not showing up. There was hardly anybody there. It's unfortunate.
Okay. I think
Because, honestly, everybody, the rest of the tour dates, everybody's like, this is one of the best shows of the year. Everybody's
Okay.
saying it was so good.
I think Snoop Dogg was playing the
Yeah.
same night, so that was a
A bit of a draw, I guess, away from that. But,
Yeah.
and it's a Tuesday night, too. But that show was a performance.
But he's not a traditional DJ though.
Well, no, I guess not. And I guess that's what I'm saying. You need certain things to giant truck going by. You need certain elements to be it. In my mind, another truck going by to be a performance, and that's interacting with people and like. The guys were out in the audience. I mean, they actually came out in the audience, and you can tell they're not lip syncing. They're actually
Right.
doing it. They're actually playing. There's mistakes. That's a show. So no, I've never. Let's put it this way: I've never paid money to go see somebody just DJ.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
So I guess
it's too bad.
in club culture,
Yeah.
the DJ is
Super
highly
DJs.
regarded, and that's
Super
and that's
DJs.
fine because it's in a confined area. It's in a club. People are there to dance.
Well, back
And
in the day,
people
when
are there to
you
hook up and
you
have a
could
good time.
have the rare 12-inch, single or something cool because there wasn't the internet to go and look anything up, So you could be a unique DJ who's playing rare, a rare acetate that was they only pressed up 500 copies or something, and DJing that. Then it would be a unique, like you're actually selecting music, doing something unique.
Uh-huh.
But it's just gone. Like with a lot of things with technology, it's gone now.
So
It's
how
gone now.
okay? So how about an electronic musician who goes on stage, who has 3 keyboards,
Right.
but isn't really everything is sequenced,
Uh-huh.
and it's a press play on
Yeah.
the sequencer, and everything is
know.
played.
I don't know. To me, there needs to be more to it than that. That's just me. I'm traditionalist, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking electronic music.
No,
'cause
not at all. I mean,
'cause-
that's primarily what I listen to.
Yeah, and same here at home.
Yeah.
I tend to listen to mostly, I'd say about 60% electronic
I
music.
guess the equivalent to that is when you see DJ doing just that, where and I talked to a friend today at lunch who said, "Yeah, it looked like he was just playing a CD." And
He was
mime. It wasn't even doing it. For
he
real.
was at the DJ Tiesto
Yeah.
show? He
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. And that's what he said. But that's no different than back in the '80s when you see like a band on Top of the Pops and they were just miming, and you knew they were playing
Right.
they were playing the album cut, and they're just the keyboards weren't even plugged in, the guitars weren't plugged in, and they were
Right.
just lip syncing. So really, has it changed? That's sort of a fake.
Yeah,
fake-
but
it's the same thing
well,
to
that's-
me.
but
It's
that's-
faking it. You know
that's
what I mean?
faking it.
Yeah.
But that's on TV though.
So there's an audience there. They play in front of an audience. Yeah. So has it really changed, Glenn? I don't know. Something to ponder.
So so on the flip side of that,
Okay.
I heard the Skrillex show
Yeah.
on Saturday, which
Okay.
was essentially
Uh-oh.
Very-
Trouble? NCC?
very
Yeah.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Because
beer?
we have beer.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
no.
I don't know.
Here we go. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
We'll keep it rolling when they
Okay.
come.
Yeah. Doing an interview? Maybe he's just turning around. So keep going.
Is
Yeah.
he just turning around?
I don't know. Skrillex show. Tell me about the Skrillex show.
So the Skrillex show was apparently really good.
Okay.
I think he had more of a live element, although
Sure.
it's essentially almost the same thing. It's a
Okay.
guy standing up
Yeah.
and performing on stage.
Okay.
Are they coming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hello.
How we doing?
Good.
Good. Is that your car?
Yes.
It is, yes.
Okay. And is that your beer?
It is, sir, yeah. I can,
know it's kinda excluded a bit, but still, it's still an open area.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And it's an expensive fine for drinking in public. It's
Oh,
$125.
okay.
So just hide your bottle. I'm not gonna make you dump whatever you got remaining.
Okay. We're just recording an interview.
little interview here,
And
sorry.
we felt like we'd have
Yeah.
just a quick beer while we're doing that.
Let's do this.
We'll put that away.
See, now it's not noticeable.
Okay.
All right?
Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Have a good one.
Thanks
Okay,
a lot, sir.
Have a good night.
And you guys not going the trails, right?
No, 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 no.
Close the parking
No,
lot. The
no.
fire's still down there, so we don't want people to...
Oh, yeah? Is it still going on?
Yeah, it's still going
Oh,
on.
wow.
So we're here monitoring the parking
Okay.
lot, and now I'm gonna go to the fire side. That's
Okay.
why the parking lots are closed.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
And hopefully I didn't ruin your interview.
No, it's fine. I'll cut it
We'll
out.
edit it out. Thank you.
Like hell, I'm gonna cut that out. I'm keeping that motherfucker in.
All right. So Skrillex was good?
So that's what I heard. I mean, I didn't go to the show, but I heard it was a good show.
Okay.
Although, he came out on a spaceship
Right.
with,
Yeah.
smoke and crazy lights, and
Okay.
and also I like his music more than DJ
Of course.
Tiesto's.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't see the show, so I can't judge it. But that's it. But okay, see the other show I saw, and one of my favorite shows of all
Was?
time is I saw Kraftwerk in concert
Wow.
about 9 years ago, and that was So I'm gonna argue my argument now, where
Those are-
Kraftwerk was four
now,
guys on stage
With laptops.
with laptops. although
Definitely synced
although
to the visuals.
absolutely,
So what makes it different?
I guess I love Kraftwerk's
There you
music.
go.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is if you love the music, you can look past the faking.
We just solved
We
the question. Okay,
Wow.
let's.
That was a good question.
I just remembered. Wait a minute. One of my all-time favorite shows was seeing Kraftwerk live,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
with Phil.
Yeah.
So, okay. Speaking of lip syncing, this is wow. The questions really flow
These are really
well.
flowing well. You should be a writer.
You sent me an email
Yes.
a couple weeks ago telling me to watch I Think We're Alone Now.
Yes, a
which is
documentary.
a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
Which I watched
Which I watched with my wife. We both found very interesting and creepy.
for the people who haven't seen it. It's about two men who are obsessed with 80s pop singer Tiffany.
Yeah.
And the movie's named after her hit single, I Think We're Alone Now.
Yeah.
So have you ever been obsessed with anyone?
I have not been obsessed with anyone or anything to that level of
Well, not to that level.
craziness.
Yeah, because that really, one of them was Stalker.
Yeah, oh, definitely stalker. Absolutely. Looking back in my past, I'd have to say probably the one you'd be obsessed with, and I wouldn't use the word obsession, but definitely be Sandy Horn from the Spoons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Met her at after a Spoons concert at the Gloucester Fair.
So
Yeah.
So the Spoons being
The Spoons
Canadian
played 80s whatever synth pop acts,
synth pop.
and I went with my friend Dave, and
Was that the Dave I met last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, still friends with Dave, and we went to see the Spoons and they played outdoors on a stage in the middle of the afternoon at the Gloucester Fair,
Okay.
in like a parking lot.
She was the bass player, right?
Yeah, she was a bass player,
Brunette?
and yeah,
Long
short,
hair?
petite bass player.
Yeah.
Wore like, ballet outfits. Crazy. So yeah, that's all I can come up with. How about you, Glenn? What have you?
Linda Ronstadt.
Are you serious? Linda Ronstadt.
Posters on the wall. First concert.
Are you
alone.
serious?
1978. 12-year-old.
Oh my!
Bought tickets.
Wow.
Alone.
Dude,
I went
okay.
to see Linda Ronstadt in concert.
Glenn, I've known you for almost 20 years, and I I'm a little surprised that
12 years. Oh, you're 12. you
No,
know?
I know. I mean, it was the same age when I saw the spoons. But,
I had the Farrah Fawcett poster,
well, with the
which
towel.
was quickly
quickly
followed
brought down
by
Linda
Ronstadt. I'm gonna find that poster and I'll post it on the blog entry with this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Linda
Not what I was
Ronstadt.
expecting. Well, that's a shocker, Glenn. That's a shocker.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah, crazy movie.
Okay.
If it's on Netflix, so
Yes.
just look up. I
Look
think
it up.
we're alone now. Really worth watching.
Creepy. but
It's really
interesting look at mental illness. Is how I look at it.
It's a really creepy look.
yeah.
You could. I was almost thinking the makers of the documentary took advantage of them a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
clearly not normal.
The point where the most interesting part is when they actually introduce the two separate stalkers, if you will,
Yeah.
to each other, and bring them,
Which is completely
manufactured to make them,
manipulated.
make them sort of have this tension, and that I found a little bit.
Because a good documentary usually shows both sides of the fence,
Yeah, it does.
without any bias.
Yeah.
But
And
this felt more,
That was sort of stacking the odds in the favor
Like
of
Survivor.
making something,
where everything is reality TV, which is not really reality. It's just
Yeah.
producers
It's produced, yeah.
producing reality.
Sure.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Man, we're already on
Number
45
6.
minutes. Wow, believe it or not. Our country has called upon you and asked you to compete in the Olympics next week.
All right.
What sport are you going to compete in?
Well, you know what? I don't think there is a sport that's a good fit because, like you, I work in an office. I'm sitting down.
Oh,
all
it doesn't
day.
matter. This
I'm
is
sitting
fun.
down all day. So
Don't look at it as
what I
sport.
came up with is it would have to involve something, a sport where you sat down and didn't move, and I think they should really. The only thing I think of is NASCAR. If they had some way they could incorporate NASCAR. Do you know what NASCAR stands for, by the way?
I have North American Stock
Car Association or something. Yeah.
Racing, something like
You
that.
know, that's all I can come up with because actually I don't know anything about NASCAR at all. All I know is that Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number is 88 because I see it on the back of every Ford F-150 in the city. That's the only thing I know about it.
So
Next question.
you can, there's not one sport that you
No.
go for?
No. If
Really?
it's not involved sitting down at a desk with a cup of coffee and a mouse, I'm not competing. You know why? I don't want to disappoint my country. I love this country too much.
Oh man, I did judo.
Disappoint
I
them.
did judo for
You
5
did
years
judo.
when I was a kid.
Okay.
Same time as the Linda Ronstadt fascination. Yeah. And
What a
so I
combo.
would go in judo to get the crap kicked out of me
You're right.
for fun.
For fun.
Just to say, I have a trophy at home, man.
Are you serious?
I do.
Nice.
I do.
Wow.
I never told you this.
No, it's like I'm really enjoying these little get-togethers.
So I was
Getting to know Glenn.
I was 12. I think I was 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I competed in the Jeux de Québec
Oh,
in Quebec.
yeah.
So there are weight classes, right?
yeah.
When you're a kid. So this weight
So
class
they
was
give them embarrassing names like flyweight and
yeah, same thing.
Overweight
I'm not
and-
sure. I'm not sure what they were called, but I fell. I was 119 pounds.
Okay.
So I fell into the 100 to 120 pound category.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Top of the range.
Top of the range.
Nice.
I destroyed.
Dominated. The
Because
little,
I was
little skinny kids.
Well, I was fighting. I think I had 4 fights that day, and I fought like a kid who was 3 years younger and probably like 102 pounds. You
that
know,
kid does not have a trophy.
this well no, and
Yeah.
I destroyed.
Wow.
So, got into the final and won. So, trophy, right?
Nice.
Winner.
Yeah.
2 weeks later,
Yeah.
I compete in
The next class up.
in the next class
you
up.
get your ass kicked, didn't you?
A few cheeseburgers too many. I weigh in
121.
121.
Yeah.
Do you know where I ended up that night?
In the hospital.
With a concussion.
Wow.
I ended up getting flipped by a 16-year-old muscle kid who beat the shit out of me. And I ended
that
up.
guy's got a trophy at home. He's
I
like, I
let-
remember I fucking earned this, is what he's saying.
I landed on. He flipped me over. I landed on my head. He landed on top of my head, and I ended up at the hospital overnight with a concussion.
So I have to ask you this. That was obviously many years ago. I have to ask you this though. Do those cat-like reflexes return? Like if you were in a situation where a mugger was like, "Give me all your wallet."
No,
your wallet,"
not-
Would you like pull out the front? You know, it's been ingrained in your brain, like the muscle memory of judo.
I
and
do.
you would like seize the opportunity to dismantle or disarm the man who was attacking you.
So I clearly don't have the speed I had at the age of 12, and I don't have the same physique anymore. But man, I still know my moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I've pulled off some moves with friends over the past few.
Oh, for fun, the party
for
tricks.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, party.
Let me hit your your.
I mean, I could demonstrate right now.
oh, it's
Yeah, you'd be surprised at what you can remember because I did it
That's
for
a long
5
time
years,
ago,
and
yeah.
I was doing it twice a week for 5 years,
Right.
4 or 5 years.
well, that's a big commitment for you.
Yeah, when I was a
Good
kid,
for you.
I watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies. And,
Well, naturally, yeah.
and was drawn towards that, and
Right.
But I think my mom didn't want me to take karate because in karate it's actually kicks
Yeah.
and chops, and you get the shit kicked out of you.
Well, and who ended up in the hospital?
Well, no, but judo was more of it's like wrestling.
Sure.
It's like so,
Interesting.
Yep. Next question. The NHL is set to go on strike again in the fall. It's looking like they're going to go on strike. I've been following this.
Yeah.
And we're both hockey fans, but I'm going to try to make this a non-hockey question, more
Sure.
of a sports fan.
Yeah.
So, this, to me, it proves that professional sports are nothing but a business,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So, is it time for us to stop watching hockey?
I think it's impossible for you because I've been to games with you, and you're not just your typical fan. I think
No.
If you
I'm
rated it, I think you're
I'm
you're, and you're
obsessive
talking about
with it.
obsessive.
Yeah.
And there seems to be an obsessive theme in this whole podcast. But I think your knowledge, because you throw shit at me like stats, and this guy's been on like 5 teams and you can name them.
I know way
The
too
trades,
much.
you know way too much.
Oh, way too much.
So,
Yeah.
it's more about can you stay away from can you stay away from the hockey? Can you stay away from the hockey? It's not about do you want to stay away from the hockey. Can you stay away from the hockey? Because I think you're so deep in it.
I probably can't, but
You'd be sneaking a look.
I
You'd
know,
be all
but
like,
you know
I'm
what?
just going to go to the bathroom, and you got your phone,
I'm thinking about
NHL.com.
I'm thinking about punishing them.
Okay, so you buy half a season or you share a season, right? So
Yeah.
So you're saying that. So are you starting
For the
a petition?
Senators.
Are you thinking of starting a
No,
petition?
I'm
Or
thinking.
is this just a one man?
I'm thinking about it's a one man. I'm
Petition?
going to not buy any tickets.
Right.
I'm not going to go to a single game.
Okay.
And this is if they cancel the season. This is going to be my revolt against them.
That doesn't make any sense, Glenn. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm punishing.
Because
I'm not
you're
giving them
giving
any
them
of my
you're
money.
trying, because you're saying you're mad at them for it being a business. So what you're doing is you're punishing them by not letting them get your money from your ticket sales.
I want to be
and that's
but
part of the business.
I think no, but part of the business is to keep your fans and to make your fans happy.
Okay.
And this strike
It's not making. Oh well. Yeah.
is pissing off. And the NHL, the NBA just went through this.
Yeah.
The NFL just went through it.
Uh-huh.
And it's about greed, right? Everyone
course,
wants
it's about
more
money.
So I want them to get a damn agreement before the season starts. And if they don't, I think I'm banning the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you would.
And
go
I'm
to-
a huge hockey fan.
I know. That's what I mean. So you're basically hurting yourself because you love hockey. You
Yes,
love hockey.
but I want to punish them, and I want to keep my money from going to their pockets for you.
How do they know they're being punished?
Well, because they'll have.
How are they going to know?
We buy two
Ticket
tickets.
sales are down 0.0000002%.
No, but I think other people are going to do the same thing.
Right.
I don't think I'll be the only one.
Interesting.
So I'm just wondering, would you do the same thing?
Hell no.
No, you're going to go.
I'm behind them. I'm behind them.
You're behind.
Well,
Who?
you have to look at it as not one business. I don't look at it as one business. I look at it as 30 businesses that happen to have a relationship with each other. And, so am I not going to go to my local coffee shop because the owners of the chain of the coffee shop have done something I don't like? Am I not going to support my local coffee shop that employs local people, that makes a delicious brewed coffee for me every morning? Or, am I going to punish those people, those part-time workers and the full-time workers, because of a corporate decision that's made in not even this country? Pretty good argument, huh?
No, it is a good argument. Yeah. But I mean,
they're right over there. I mean, we can drive to the to where we go to the games. It's like 20 minutes from here. We're lucky we can do that. I can bring the kids. It doesn't cost that much. I can get the $99 packages. Okay, I'm going to see the Florida Panthers, but it's $99. I can bring the kids. They get them. They get their slices of pizza. They get their little Fruitopias, and we go watch a game. And I think of a market like Toronto, where it's all full of shitty, corporate boxes, right? Full of businessmen who don't even want to watch the sport because they've been flown in from Dubai and they don't even know what
they're being flown in.
They don't even know. They're being wined and dined, So it's all perspective.
Okay, yeah,
it's all perspective.
That's a different side of the argument I haven't heard. I'm just annoyed right now.
Well, yeah.
By the fact that I might be denied hockey.
You're basically a spoiled child. You're a spoiled child, and you're having a tantrum.
But the thing is,
you took away my hockey, and you're
but
having a tantrum.
I'll sacrifice my needs for
you're
a whole
like
damn
a small
season.
child. You know what you're doing? You're shitting your diaper. You're like, I'm on purpose shitting my diaper to make a point. But you're not hurting anybody but yourself because your ass is gonna hurt, kid. Your ass is gonna hurt. It's a good question.
That's a good.
I didn't think that would come out of that.
I didn't think that was
a good question.
That's actually a good argument.
All right.
Okay.
Keep going.
Next question.
Number 8.
So Charlene and I watched the Denzel Washington movie Safe House this week, which was okay, and I'll tell you why. It's well, in the movie, there are those typical scenes. Mm-hmm. There's the main character is a CIA agent.
All right.
And he at one point he's in outside of Cape Town, South Africa. Right. And he goes into some random shitty
internet cafe. Wow.
And he gets on the computer and it's right. The typical Hollywood graphic text. It's not Internet Explorer. That's crawling.
No, I've never heard of this movie. Is this a recent movie, or is this from the 1980s?
No. It came on DVD 2 months ago.
Wow,
it's a brand new.
So
film.
You're saying that there's a film where somebody goes and gets on the internet and uses a computer, and the graphics are ridiculous.
The graphics are, and first of all, he's in a.
First of all, I think there's probably a security violation for a CIA agent to be using an internet cafe, right? To do information.
Sure. Yes.
That as well, right?
That would be a big. That
would be a big problem.
But
so right there, I've suspended my disbelief.
So it wasn't even that. It was the graphics were ridiculous.
Okay.
And it threw me off.
Right.
So I think you're on the same.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
I hate it.
It really kicks you out of the reality. Is that what you're saying? So
it totally took me out of the film.
So you're in the film, you're paying attention, and then the computer graphics make you realize this is a movie and it's badly done graphics, and you don't buy into the movie. Is that what you're saying?
So the movie was fine up until the point when there were a few scenes in the movie when he logs into a computer to get more information or to and every one of those scenes just threw me off and it made me hate the film.
Well,
and I love Denzel Washington.
You and I spend all our days in front of computers, so maybe we're.
No, I think.
Do you think it's that, or is it just?
No, you think there's everyone does though.
Right.
Anyone who goes to a movie theater.
So have you ever seen a movie where that didn't happen, where there were good computer graphics?
I have. Yeah? I just can't think of one off the top of my head.
Okay.
Can you?
How about War Games? Remember that? 1983?
Yeah, but they had advanced graphics for the time being.
What do you mean?
For the time. Because
well, then there you go. That's a perfect example right there.
But it wasn't as drastic, though.
Yeah, it was. It was all NORAD missiles and
Russia,
bombing.
But there's a big difference, though. Is back then, very few people had computers at home.
Okay.
So they weren't as familiar with
I guess
computer
compared
graphics
to a
and expectations.
Yeah, compared to a VIC 20, it would look rather
But
advanced,
still-
wouldn't it?
But we had VIC 20s,
Sure.
but most people didn't.
Yeah.
So I think people who saw that, maybe it was more believable because they weren't familiar with computer technology.
Sure.
But nowadays, I think everyone has,
Yeah.
like Android and iPhones and computer at home.
Yeah. Speaking of NORAD, I actually went to the NORAD base for a tour in North Bay a couple years ago. Like actually inside, down like giant blast door, all and golf cart down the
How
tunnel.
were you allowed in?
They had tours. They happen to have. There's like 1 week. This is post 9/11, so they kind of shut it down for a bit.
Okay.
But they had some. I just happened to be there one weekend when they were actually allowing tours for the one day.
Oh, really?
Saturday. And so yeah, we actually down the tunnel and giant doors, and then
So,
indoors.
But they don't really show you anything.
No,
though,
we
right?
went to the main room. We went to the main room with the screens of every plane in the world, like up on giant screens, and guys working with headsets, looking busy, and it was really cool.
Oh, really?
And the coolest part though was
Where
like,
is it? Oh, yeah,
it's in
it's
North Bay.
outside.
It's like
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, it's really interesting to be down there. But the coolest thing is that they hollowed out the inside of the mountain, and then they built sort of like an apartment building. So like, and then they had to light it. So like, it's like being on another planet. You're inside a mountain, and it's hollowed out, and there's like this
It's built,
RVs.
It's built in a mountain?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's like chock-a-block building kind of looks like the buildings made for like the '67 Olympics, like in Montreal, like the crazy box.
Right.
Yeah, basically that.
When was that built?
inside a mountain? I don't know.
I guess
don't know.
I'm guessing
I
probably
don't know.
around the 60s.
Probably, yeah. So it had like this crazy, sort of like Olympic village inside a mountain. It's really cool. If you
It's still
get a chance.
It's still fully functional.
Oh yeah, totally,
Wow.
totally. Yeah, they do. They scramble jets.
Actually, a great place to record a podcast, I was just thinking, is the Diefen Bunker,
Yeah, the Diefen Bunker.
which is an old war bunker out
Post-war
of town
bunker.
that you can visit.
Yeah.
We can go and hide off in a corner somewhere and do one.
Yeah, and then have security come get us like that guy did. Be wicked.
Could be a continuation.
Cool.
We're gonna skip. I'll skip that question.
Yeah.
Something that happened to me this week that was distressing. So last question, man.
Oh wow.
Oh, actually, not the last question. Last
Second
question
last.
for me.
Okay.
1 in 14 Americans claimed they would murder someone for $3 million. This is a report I read this morning.
Okay.
What would be your price?
My price would actually be $3 million. But here's what I do: is I would tell the person I'm murdering them that there's a plot to murder them, and then what we would do is scheme to fake the murder, and then split the profits.
Paul, this is real.
No, this is not real.
This is real.
This is a ridiculous question.
No, it's not. This is
That was
real
a completely sane answer, because guess what?
This was in the news.
No, but guess what happens if I get caught? There's no murder.
1 in 14
You're just mad 'cause
Americans
I thought of it.
claimed they
Yes.
would murder someone
Uh-huh.
for $3 million.
And I told you my answer was $3 million. Split with the person I'm murdering.
What would it take to do it for real?
$3 million. Split with the person.
No. You have to murder someone.
No, I don't have to murder somebody.
Yeah, it's assigned. You
I'm
have to
smarter
bring,
than
You have
that.
to bring a body.
I wouldn't do well in prison, Glenn.
You have to bring a body.
I don't want to bring a body.
No, that's the rule. This is not.
That doesn't.
You
That's
don't
not
get
written there.
You don't get the $3
So,
million
yeah.
bucks if you don't bring the body back.
Well, I could bring a fingernail or some hair or something.
Okay.
Okay, let's put it this way: Would you
refu-
pull a fingernail out and say we're going to split $3 million?
I
need to chop your finger
I was
off and bring
thinking
it as
more,
evidence.
I was thinking more along the lines of someone like Luca Magnotta.
Right.
Could you off him? who he was arrested recently, by the way. You still owe me $2 on that bet.
What? It's $2. Yeah, I owe you $2 actually. we had a bet. No, I'm good. We had a bet as to how quick it would be before they caught him.
And I said it'd be within a week, and you said no, he was organized. And
No,
we had
I
a
thought it
good
was going
argument.
to. I thought it was going to take 2 weeks, and it took 1 week.
No, you said it would.
No,
be...
I take.
Well,
I thought 2
anyways,
weeks.
we gave it
2 weeks, but you definitely won. There's your $2.
Thank you, sir.
Right there.
Okay, so part of this question, I'll tell you where it comes from.
Okay.
When I was in school, I think I was in grade 7.
Okay.
Our teacher brought up capital punishment,
Okay.
and explained what capital punishment was.
Right.
And clearly my teacher at the time was a bit of a post-hippie type of guy
Okay.
who did not believe in capital punishment.
All right.
So I vaguely remember the way he delivered it.
Okay.
To
So
the
he
kids.
framed the question, or he framed the conversation.
But it was
What did he do?
front-loaded.
Okay.
So the question was front-loaded in a way that capital punishment was a bit of a bad thing.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
But he explained what it was, because at the time, like here in Canada, I know in the States they have capital punishment in some states, but in Canada here we don't have it. And there was talk, I believe, in the 70s of bringing it back. So I think we had hangings up until the 50s.
Oh, I don't know.
Something like that. And
I'm
it
no
was-
expert.
There must have been a case at the time. I'm not sure what it was, but there was discussion in the news about it. So he brought it up to class, and he would often bring up subjects like that, and he would explain it to us,
Right.
like current affairs. And so he asked the class who would be willing to do the job of hanging the person who committed a murder, let's say.
Okay.
And there were two people who put their hands up.
Was one of them you?
Yes. Yes. And you know what? Quite honestly, I don't think I've changed my opinion since.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm not a right-wing guy
you're not all.
at all, but when it comes to, and it has to be a clear-cut case too, but
Sure.
I'm thinking vicious crimes,
Yeah.
serial killer type of guys.
I guess they've proven though that that sort of thing doesn't deter other people from doing it.
I
The
don't-
people that do it are mentally ill. They're
You
just crazy. They're loons.
Right.
So it's not going to prevent anything. Anybody that uses that argument to, but capital punishment will make people think twice when they do something stupid. Well,
I
no,
agree.
I don't buy that.
I
People
don't
that
buy
do
that.
it are off.
I don't buy
fucking
that.
rockers.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it comes down to money, I guess. It's like economics. People get upset about how much it costs to to incarcerate somebody, to feed them, to give them apple pie.
I think
for
the
dinner.
economics, though, is
There's the economic part of it that bothers people.
I think it's a 50-50 because the court case, it gets it gets appealed a million times, and
Yeah.
by the time the judge court, everything.
Yeah.
I think it's not really an economic thing.
Okay.
It's
a
just
moral
it's a moral. I want them off the planet.
So Glenn the Hangman.
I would
open the door.
I would still do it.
Really?
So when it came to this question, how much would it take? I guess depending, if someone were to offer me like X million dollars, I would consider it if it were
Like legit, like through the
legit.
penal system or something. Really interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I would do it.
No, I'm too butterflies, man.
Wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. No.
Okay.
If you have your own unique take on any of the questions I asked Paul today, or have a question of your own for us, please leave us a message on the podcast voicemail at 310-598-7380. That's 310-598-7380. If you happen to be too lazy to write this down, you can also find it on humplik.com. We really want to hear from you. Here's a question that we received from Scott, an Australian listener of the podcast.
Hey Glenn, this is Scott from Australia. It's only taken me half an hour to figure out how to ring this number with country area codes and stuff, so I finally managed to do it. The guy in Miami who ate someone's face, that was pretty serious, but I was thinking if you had to eat someone's face, whose face would you eat and why? I elected Martha Stewart. For some strange reason, I think she kind of tastes like potatoes. Anyway, love the podcast. Look forward to the next one. See ya.
Scott has.
So
has a
Scott
question.
asked us.
I think.
We think he asked us whose face would we eat
If you had to eat somebody's face.
if I had to. Is that what the question was?
Yeah.
Because I heard Martha Stewart.
Yeah. Well, that was his answer. He would choose to eat Martha Stewart.
Okay.
Face.
That's an interesting face to eat.
I think he might have been drunk when he called, by the way.
You think?
Yeah. Quite possibly. He was sitting in his inum, whatever that is. Whose face would I eat if I had to eat a face? Do you want to feel that one, Glenn? Do you want to? What's your answer?
I was
would
thinking
you-
along the lines of George Bush,
George Bush.
because I hated him as a president.
Right.
That would be my pick.
Well, you certainly wouldn't be eating anybody you liked. Right?
No,
So-
no.
Okay.
Unless you thought they were delicious.
Well. Sure. That brings the whole, area of
that'll be a
cooking
question.
and seasoning and marinating into. I don't want to bring that into
Yeah.
it, but
That'll be a question.
well, I'm
for
just
another
surprised
podcast.
that's like out of all the people you think that you hate, that would be top of your list. George
No,
Bush.
I think that would be a face that people would enjoy seeing eaten.
Right. Oh, so it'd be televised or something. It'd be-
I'm
it'd be
assuming everything's
recorded.
televised nowadays.
Sure.
And I think if I were to eat a face, I'd
Right.
probably make a video of it
Right.
and put it on YouTube because probably nuts.
Yeah.
Unless of course we find a box of bath salts and
See,
although you know what, he wasn't on bath salts.
No, he wasn't. No.
Turned out he was just on weed. Speaking,
I
of,
would flip it around. I would
the
go.
hemp, the hemp beer might lead us to eating each other's face.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. We're also hoping a bear just comes barreling out of the woods here. I'm going to flip it around and say I'd go for the non-celebrity. I'd go for something I really hate. Probably a clown or a mime. Just a yeah. Yeah.
You hate
It wouldn't
clowns?
I fucking hate clowns.
Why?
I don't know. I remember being an infant and going, you're in your crib and there's, you'd go to whatever show or whatever, and they'd pick you up and they bring you to the show and you're just trying to develop as a person and figure the world out. And, there's Mummy and there's Daddy and there's the kitty and there's a fucking clown. What the fuck is that? Like, what is up with that? And I don't know. I just always hated clowns. And
Really?
mimes are sort of a subdivision of
It's a weird
of clowns.
French clown.
Of course, yeah. So my answer would be clown.
Clown?
Yeah, a clown
So George Bush and clowns.
and clowns.
And with that,
Yeah, thanks, Scott. That's a great question.
thank you, Scott, and hopefully we'll hear from you again.
Yeah, that's right.
And thank you, Paul.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. I feel like I learned a lot about you.
There we go.
Yeah.
And I of you.
Wow. Good night, Glenn.
Good night.
Thank you.